Well guys, welcome to another day in Porto. I just strolled back down to the river where I was yesterday. It's such a beautiful day out. I'm gonna go on one of these little riverboat tours along the Duoro River. It's supposed to take like about an hour, but there's gonna be gorgeous views of the surrounding area, which I'm excited to see. I'll actually go on that one right now.
1 o'clock?
Yes, please.
1?
Yes.
15 euros.
16?
15.
15. Obrigado. Porto is known as the only city in Europe for having 6 bridges, and they're all pretty iconic in their own way. But guys, the views are really terrific. I mean, you get to see pretty much everything. Porto has one of the oldest European city centers, deemed a World Heritage Site by UNESCO in 1996. One of Portugal's famous exports, port wine, is named after Porto since the surrounding area was responsible for the packaging, transport, and export of the fortified wine. Even though that was a pretty touristy thing to do, I highly recommend it. That's one of those things that you really get to see a good picture of Porto, and also the city of Gaia on the other side of the river. It only costs 15 euros, so it isn't even that expensive. There's actually quite a nice river walk here, plenty of shops and cafes. Might get some food here later, but I had a really huge lunch slash breakfast back at the hostel, so. You've all heard of a guy named Gustav Eiffel, right? I would hope so. Anyways, he actually helped work on this bridge before he went on to build the Eiffel Tower, so that's a cool tidbit of information. But we're in the city of Gaia right now. This is just literally right across the river from Porto. You guys remember the port wine that I had yesterday? This is where they actually age it and store it in the cellars here. I'm gonna go on a little tour and actually sample some and see how it's all done. Perspective, that's the Duoro Valley, and we're right here. That's all the wine is grown, and that's actually what it looks like. But I'm gonna go on a day trip there in a couple days time. But look at the color of the wine, how it changes as it's aged. All right guys, I'm ready to get to the drinking part.
The Portuguese cellar that was established in 1859 by Untitled Chapter. At the time, what made us a bit special was that instead of exporting to the UK, as other cellars were doing, we decided to export to Brazil. Port is exactly like champagne. It needs to come from a very specific region. Otherwise, it won't be port. It might be port-style wine. So, from the Douro, we're going to produce the wine. We're going to harvest them in October, and once the grapes have been harvested, we're going to smash them. Once they've been smashed, they're going to begin to ferment, and this fermentation would usually last 2 weeks in a traditional wine, a tabletop wine. But because we want port to be sweet, we must interrupt it. We interrupt the fermentation by adding wine spirit, which consists of 77 degrees of alcohol, and adding this amount of alcohol kills the fermentation, allowing us to keep the sugar and have alcohol at the same time. So a table wine will have between 11 to 14 degrees of alcohol, while a port has a minimum of 19 and a maximum of 22, which is only to say that I hope you've all had lunch before you came here. They are all different because they are all handmade, so it's very different people that are exactly the same. Please be one
tour, we're learning how port wine is made. Some of these bags here are over 150 years old.
And once you smelled it, we're going to decant it. So may I just smell? I suggest decanting it like this. We want to decant it to allow the aromas out and distribute the alcohol, right? In English, they say cheers. In Portuguese, we say a nossa. Of course, go ahead. All right, so, oh, you've had the fine white already.
Uh-oh, guys, I think I'm gonna regret not having lunch. But this wine is really good. That was a super cool experience. I've never really tried port wine to the extent that I've tried here at this place. It was exquisite, to say the least. But now I'm gonna head out and find some food because I'm kind of tipsy. Obrigado. Guys, I ordered Arroz de Mariscos. This is like a seafood rice dish. So Porto and by extension Gaia are port cities, so they're located right next to the Atlantic Ocean. But I'm heading back into the hostel because I need to check in for my meal at 9 o'clock that they're supposed to cook. Alright guys, so I actually made it to the hostel for dinner. And I got the first of many plates here, and I got a sangria to drink.
And we all drink together, okay? Woo! So, yes, hostels.
Yes, hostels!
Cheers, guys.